It's Thursday, educator family, and we are back with our Analysis Thursday. Sunday was an awesome treat. We had Master Teacher Bajana Jones Mullins sharing with us practical tips about the use of technology as we go about selecting for the classroom. And so on Analysis Thursday, as we normally do, we look at the key points. What is it that we could take away from the discussion, from what she shared with us, so that we can use it in our classroom to enhance the teaching learning process and to help us to become reflective in what we do. And so for Analysis Thursday, I just want to focus on three main points that were shared, and these are the takeaway moments. The first one that I would like to look at and to delve in with you educators is accessibility. When we're looking at technology, we just cannot look at us as the teachers in the classroom, what we have, what are the resources that we have. So we're planning our lessons based on what we have. We have to look at our students, the wider context, the era in which we teach, the communities that we serve. Because we do know we have children in Jamaica currently who from last year, they have not accessed a classroom. They have not accessed a lesson because they don't have the means or the mode by which to do so. And so when we're planning, we have to think about our students. If we're not thinking about our students, it means then that we are teacher-centered in our approaches. We're teacher-centered in the lessons that we are planning. When we plan our lessons, educators, it must be about the students. So let's get back to accessibility. In looking at accessibility, we have to think about what the students have. So if it is that we use Google Classroom, do all the students have access to Google Classroom? Do they all have data? Do they all have a laptop, a desktop, a tablet, a smartphone? How are they going to access this information? If we use Zoom, what is the likelihood that we're going to have all our students on? Do they all have access to data? Again, the same resources. Do they have access to these things? Do they have access to Wi-Fi at home? If we're going to be using WhatsApp, do the students have access to a smartphone? Can they access the WhatsApp messages during the day when maybe their parents are out working and the parents are the ones who have the phones using? We have to think about these many things. And so when we think about accessibility, it makes us want to plan in advance. It makes us want to look at other avenues that we can reach our students. It may very well be that we have to use a variety of technologies to reach our students, SMS, whatever it is, we need to think about the students' accessibility, because at the end of the day, we are impacting their lives. Agree? Share your comments below, right? Now, the second tip the second analysis point that I would like to refer us to is the fact that the technology that we use should be about enhancing the lesson and increasing student participation. Too often as educators, we just plan with technology just because we need to be using technology. But do we really delve into it? So we say we're going to use quizzes. We say we're going to use Quizlet. We're going to use Kahoot. We're going to use Nearpad, Peer Deck. We're going to be using these things. But do we really delve into it when we get into the lesson? Are we able to manipulate it as the educator, as the facilitator in the classroom? Are our students able to navigate it? So at the end of the day, when we plan and we think about the technologies, we have to think about it enhancing the lesson. Now, a part of enhancing the lesson is for us educators to remember how the brain processes information. So we cannot be playing a 10 minutes YouTube video for the students to be engaging and we're just playing it right out. We don't stop to ask questions, to engage their brains, to engage their minds. We're just playing the YouTube video. So we have to think about that. We have to be short and succinct, to the point. All the descriptors that speaks to being short, we have to think about that when we are planning the lesson. So if we have a class for 1 hour and 20 minutes, or we have a class for 2 hours, we have to think about breaking the information into small pieces. We have to chunk the information so that the students can chew it and chew it properly. So it may take us a longer time to cover a particular objective, because we have to think about the brain, and as well as we have to think about engaging the students and keeping them engaged. We have to require their participation. We cannot be the only facilitators in the classroom. We cannot be the only ones that are teaching. Did I say facilitators? No. We cannot be the giver. We're just giving. We need to pause. We need to stop. We need to allow them to give us. We need to allow them to interact with us. And then by doing that, we become facilitators of the teaching learning process. So these are things that we need to bear in mind, educators. The third and final tip that I'll be looking at is the fact that our objectives must be aligned with the technology that we are selecting. So if we are looking at an objective, we are looking at osmosis, or we are looking at diffusion, then the video that we get should be related to that. And educators, too often we may rush through our lessons, or we may rush not through the lessons but through the planning process. We rush and we just get onto YouTube and we say, okay, a video is there about osmosis, and we just pull it down, put it up, and we're ready to use it without having watched it, without having absorbed it for ourselves to see, does this align to the concept, to the particular area that I want to pull out today, the particular area that I want the students to understand? Is this video aligning to it? And so, as when we spoke about the Assure model, we have to think about the selection of the technologies and how they're going to play into the teaching learning process. And so we first have to look at it, see how it works, see how it's going to fit. Don't just take it up and use it for the use of technology. As well, we are looking at the objectives being aligned. We must also have our plan B. Remember, technology is man-made. And so there are going to be days when we turn up for class, we have our nice videos, we have our nice stuff ready to go, but it's just not working, it's just not opening up, and you're there. Instead of wasting 10-15 minutes trying to get this video to work, or get the clip to show, or whatever it is that we're doing, if we have a backup plan, we're able to smooth, we were able to go through the class seamlessly. So even though we have a hiccup, it may not even be recognizable because you already had a backup plan in place. So educators, these are the takeaway points, the analysis points that from the video. I know that these are practical things that you may face in the classroom, and that is why I've decided to share these with you. So one, think about the accessibility for the students as it relates to technology. Think about using the technology to enhance the teaching learning process and to require student participation, and also ensure that the technology that we select, it is enhancing our lessons, and we should have our plan B in place. Educators, do you agree? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts? Please share your comment in the comment section. Like and subscribe to our channel for those who are just seeing us for the first time. Like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of these informative sessions that we're bringing to you. If you're a regular, continue to watch our videos, continue to share your thoughts, continue to comment, continue to circulate, and most importantly, continue to practice what we are sharing with you. Educators, I am Carla Boswell-Lewis, a selfless, dedicated, passionate educator, and I am on a mission through strategic educational consultancy services to empower you, educators.